I am 102 years old, and there is one habit I have watched quietly destroy more young lives than sickness, accidents, or bad luck. Most people think it is harmless. Many even feel proud of it. I did not understand it when I was young either. But after living through wars, loss, and time itself, I learned why this single mistake slowly steals years from your life. I am a grandmother who has lived for 102 years, and when people see my age, they usually ask about medicine, genetics, or secret diets. I always smile because the truth is much simpler and much harder to accept. Longevity is not only about what you eat or how often you exercise. It is about the habits you repeat every day without thinking. I have watched generations grow up, grow tired, and grow sick long before their time. I have buried friends who were younger than me, stronger than me, and faster than me, yet they left this world early because they ignored the quiet warnings of their own bodies. When I was young, life was difficult, but it followed a natural rhythm. When night arrived, the body rested. When morning came, the body moved. Today, many young people live as if night and day no longer matter, as if the body can be pushed endlessly without consequence. Over my lifetime, I have learned that the body remembers everything. Every late night, every forced wakefulness, every time rest is delayed, it leaves a mark. At first, the damage is invisible. You still feel young, capable, and energetic. That is why this mistake is so dangerous. It does not punish you immediately. It waits, and by the time you notice it, the cost is already high. This chapter is not meant to scare you. It is meant to prepare you, because if you understand this early, you may gain something more valuable than success or money. You may gain time. When I speak to young people in America today, I notice something very different from the world I grew up in. Night no longer feels like night to you. It feels like extra time to work, scroll, watch, or chase distractions. I want you to understand something clearly. The body was never designed to negotiate with darkness. When night comes, your body begins a quiet repair process that you cannot see and cannot feel right away. Muscles relax, the mind settles, and the heart finds a slower rhythm. When you stay awake late again and again, you interrupt that process. You may believe you are gaining time, but you are borrowing it from your future. I have seen young men and women in their 20s complain about exhaustion that should not exist at that age. They blame stress, work, or bad luck, but rarely do they look at the hours they steal from their own rest. In my youth, staying up late was rare and serious. It meant danger, illness, or urgency. Today, it has become normal, even admired. That change did not come without consequences. Over decades, I watched people lose focus, patience, and health long before their hair turned gray. The most dangerous part is that the body adapts at first. You feel fine, you function, you believe you are the exception. That false confidence is what allows the damage to grow quietly. Sleep is not weakness. It is discipline. It is respect for the limits of being human. If you ignore those limits long enough, your body will eventually enforce them in ways you cannot control. That lesson is never gentle. There is a specific mistake I want to warn you about, and it is not simply staying up late once in a while. Life happens, emergencies happen, and celebrations happen. What slowly shortens your life is turning late nights into a routine, especially when you go to sleep after your body has already passed its natural point of rest. When the night grows deep and quiet, your body expects darkness and stillness. Hormones meant to repair your organs are released. Your heart and brain prepare for recovery. When you remain awake during this time, staring at bright screens or forcing your mind to stay alert, your body becomes confused. It does not know whether to repair itself or remain in survival mode. Over many years, that confusion creates imbalance. I have watched people age faster, not because of hard work, but because they never allowed their bodies to fully shut down and recover. Many young people tell themselves they will sleep later on weekends or when life slows down. I believed that lie once too. The body does not store rest like money in a bank. Missed sleep is not fully repaid. Each night you delay rest, your body pays a small price. You do not feel it immediately, which makes the habit feel safe, but slowly your immune system weakens, your emotions become unstable, and your mind grows heavy even when you are not thinking. This is why I say this mistake is dangerous. It is quiet. It does not announce itself. It waits patiently while you believe you are in control. By the time fatigue becomes constant, the habit is already deeply rooted. Learning to stop then is much harder than never starting at all. Over 102 years of life, I have watched many strong people slowly break down, and almost none of them realized what was happening while it was happening. They believed exhaustion was normal. They believed constant irritation was just part of adulthood. They believed waking up tired every day was something everyone experienced. What they did not understand was that their bodies were sending warnings long before illness arrived. When you ignore sleep, the body does not protest loudly at first. It whispers. It shows itself through forgetfulness, through impatience, through a quiet heaviness that follows you even on good days. I have seen young mothers lose joy, young fathers lose patience, and young workers lose clarity, all while believing they were simply busy or stressed. In my younger years, when someone looked constantly tired, we worried. Today, people admire it. That change has cost many lives, years they will never get back. The body is not a machine that can be reset with coffee or motivation. It is a living system that needs darkness, stillness, and surrender every night. When you deny it that, the damage does not arrive all at once, it accumulates. Your heart works harder than it should. Your mind struggles to calm itself. Your emotions swing without warning, and yet you continue because society tells you this is normal. I am telling you now it is not. What feels normal today may become unbearable tomorrow. By the time doctors speak, your body has already been asking for help for years. Listening earlier is the difference between aging slowly and aging painfully. I want to speak directly to the moment when your body first tries to protect you, because this is where most people fail themselves. The earliest signs are easy to dismiss. You wake up tired even after sleeping. Your patience becomes shorter than it used to be. Small problems feel heavier than they should. You tell yourself it is temporary, that once work slows down or life becomes easier, you will rest properly. I watch people make that promise to themselves for decades. The truth is that life rarely slows down on its own. You must decide to slow down before your body forces you to. In my lifetime, I have learned that fatigue is not just physical. It changes how you see the world. When you are exhausted, joy feels distant. Gratitude feels unnecessary. Anger arrives quickly. Many people think these changes come from age, but I have seen them in very young faces. Sleep deprivation quietly reshapes who you are long before it harms your organs. It changes your decisions, your relationships, and your sense of hope. When the body is tired, the mind becomes impatient and careless. That is when people make choices they later regret. I survived many difficult years, not because life was gentle, but because I respected the moments meant for rest. Night is not wasted time. It is when your body forgives you for the stress of the day. If you steal that forgiveness too often, the debt remains. No amount of success can replace a body that no longer knows how to recover. Learning to listen at the first signs is one of the greatest acts of self-respect you can make. There is a reason I have reached 102 years while many people half my age already feel worn down, and it is not because my life was easier. It is because I learned early that rest is not something you negotiate with after the day is over. It must be protected before the day even begins. I planned my days with the night in mind. I did not push my body until it collapsed and then ask it to recover. I stopped before that point. Many young people believe discipline means doing more, staying awake longer, and ignoring discomfort. True discipline is knowing when to stop. When you consistently sleep late, your body never reaches full repair. Your heart stays alert when it should slow. Your mind remains restless when it should release. Over years, this constant tension becomes your normal state. You forget what it feels like to wake up clear, calm, and steady. I have seen people chase energy through caffeine, noise, and stimulation, not realizing they are exhausting themselves further. Energy is not created by force. It is restored through rest. The night is when your body resets the damage of the day. If you remove that reset, you carry yesterday into today and today into tomorrow until the weight becomes unbearable. I did not live this long by being fearless. I lived this long by being careful. Careful with my body, careful with my time, and careful with the habits I repeated. When you respect sleep, you are not being weak. You are choosing longevity over applause and peace over pride. I want you to understand how dangerous it is when exhaustion becomes familiar, because that is the point where most people stop protecting themselves. When you feel tired every day, your body slowly lowers its expectations. You stop remembering what real rest feels like. You begin to believe that constant fatigue is simply part of being an adult. Over my lifetime, I watched this belief spread quietly, especially among young people who felt pressure to always be available, always productive, and always connected. The body does not rebel loudly when this happens. It adapts, and that adaptation is not a gift. It is a survival response. Your nervous system stays alert even during rest. Your thoughts continue racing when you lie down. Sleep becomes shallow instead of deep. This is when people say they sleep but never feel restored. I saw many people reach this stage and mistake it for aging. They would say, "I am just getting older," when in truth they were simply never allowing their bodies to fully shut down. Chronic late nights teach your body to live in tension. Over time, that tension affects digestion, memory, and emotional stability. You become more reactive, less patient, and less present without understanding why. Relationships suffer because exhaustion removes softness from your voice and kindness from your reactions. None of this happens suddenly. It happens slowly, which is why it is ignored. I'm telling you now, familiarity with exhaustion is not strength. It is a warning sign that your body has been pushed past what it was designed to endure. Ignoring that sign does not make you resilient. It makes you fragile in ways you will not notice until it is too late. There is something else I must tell you, especially if you live in a world filled with lights, screens, and constant noise. Night is meant to be quiet, not just outside, but inside your mind. When you stay awake late, surrounded by stimulation, your body never receives the signal that it is safe to let go. Over many years, I noticed that people who slept late often carried anxiety without knowing its source. They felt uneasy even on calm days. Their minds struggled to slow down, and silence felt uncomfortable. This is not coincidence. When the body is denied proper rest, the mind remains on guard. I learned early to respect darkness. When night arrived, I reduced noise, lowered light, and allowed my thoughts to settle. This simple habit protected my nervous system for decades. Many young people today fall asleep with their minds still racing, still absorbing information, still reacting to the world. That kind of sleep is not true rest. It is closer to unconsciousness than recovery. Over time, this robs you of emotional balance. You may feel more anxious, more impatient, or more overwhelmed without understanding why. Your body remembers the nights you never allowed it to feel safe. Sleep is not just about closing your eyes. It is about signaling peace to your entire system. When that signal is delayed night after night, the body stays tense even during rest. I have seen people regain clarity, calm, and health simply by respecting nighttime again. Darkness is not your enemy. It is one of the greatest healers you are ignoring. Now I want to speak to the moment when you believe it is already too late, because many people reach that point and give up trying. They say their schedule cannot change, their responsibilities are too heavy, or their mind will not slow down anymore. I have heard these words for decades, and I have watched what happens to those who accept them as truth. The body does not demand perfection. It responds to direction. Even small changes made consistently begin to heal damage that took years to form. When people finally choose to sleep earlier, to dim the lights, to step away from stimulation before night deepens, something remarkable happens. The body recognizes safety again. The heart settles more easily. The mind releases its grip faster. Sleep becomes deeper, not longer, but more complete. I have seen people regain patience, clarity, and emotional balance without medicine or drastic measures, simply by honoring night again. You may feel uncomfortable at first. Your body has learned chaos, and calm will feel unfamiliar. That discomfort is not failure. It is adjustment. Just as a bent tree resists being straightened, a tired body resists rest until it learns trust again. Do not let impatience stop you. Longevity is built through quiet consistency, not dramatic effort. I did not live this long by fixing everything at once. I lived this long by choosing the same protective habits every day, especially when no one was watching. If you begin now, even imperfectly, your body will respond. Time has a way of forgiving those who learn to respect it. I will leave you with this final truth, because it is the one I wish more young people understood before time teaches it the hard way. Longevity is not won through extremes. It is not earned by pushing yourself until you collapse, nor by pretending you are stronger than your body. It is built quietly, night after night, through respect. Respect for darkness, respect for rest, and respect for your limits. I did not live 102 years by accident. I lived this long because I treated sleep as sacred, not optional. When the world told me to keep going, I chose to stop. When pride whispered that rest was laziness, I chose wisdom instead. Many people chase success as if life is something to conquer, but the body is not an enemy to defeat. It is a companion you must protect if you want it to stay with you for a long time. Every late night you avoid is a gift to your future self. Every time you choose rest over stimulation, you are extending the life you do not yet see. You do not need to change everything tonight. You only need to stop ignoring what your body has been asking for all along. Sleep earlier. Let the night be quiet again. Allow yourself to disappear from the world for a few hours so you can return whole. If you remember nothing else from my words, remember this. A long life is not about how much you endure. It is about how well you recover.